What's up, everybody? It's Izzy. Sorry for no content for such a long time, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick update if you haven't already seen. I put out new versions of both Eating to Win and Programming to Win. So I want to talk about Eating to Win first, since the updates to that were more minor. The first thing that I did is that I went in and just changed some things that I no longer agreed with after 4 years of coaching powerlifters. The number one thing was who should water cut, when they should water cut, and why. Another thing that I updated was when you should ignore my rules about optimal body fat. So in the original book, I said, male should be somewhere in that 10 to 15% range, and females should be somewhere in that 18 to 24% range. Well, I gave you some clear-cut exceptions when you want to ignore that rule. I explained when you might be one of those exceptions, and I also discussed some outliers to that rule as well. Another thing that I did was I talked about Boris Shako's table that supposedly gives you the optimal weight class if you want to be internationally competitive for your height. So I discussed that table from the lens of an IPF lifter, so a drug-free lifter, and I broke down where I agreed with his recommendations and where I did not agree with his recommendations. And the last thing that I did is I got rid of that horrible spreadsheet, and I just gave you guys clear-cut rules on how you can integrate the Eating to Win system with Avatar Nutrition. And the reason why I personally selected Avatar is because it was partially developed by Dr. Lane Norton, who I have a great deal of respect for, at least when it comes to the nutritional side of the game. And I could spend the rest of my life learning programming and learning how to do macros and Excel, and I still wouldn't create something half as good as what a team of full-time programmers and nutritionists have already done at Avatar, so there's no point in me trying to one-up them here. I'm just going to explain to you how to integrate my system with theirs, which is what I currently do personally. Okay, now let's talk about ProgrammingToWin, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are more interested in. So, ProgrammingToWin2, version 2 here, is completely updated in terms of the programs. Okay, it's all new novice programs, all new intermediate programs, and there is now advanced programming in there as well. And just like the previous iteration of the book, it progresses you through each stage in a logical, linear manner, so you know when it's appropriate and when it is not appropriate for you to be moving to the next level of programming. So you always know whether you're a novice or an intermediate or an advanced trainee. Now, one of the biggest changes that I made was that I no longer use fatigue percents at all in any of my programming. And anyone who has worked with me already knows this. And in the book, I explain why I got rid of fatigue percents, and I explain why I've moved more towards a type of periodization that resembles more closely daily undulating periodization. There's a lot of confusion out there about daily undulating periodization. A lot of it is just theory, and people don't give you concrete examples and just programs that you can just do. And in the book, that's exactly what I did. So my intermediate program, instead of transitioning you to do these like RTS style low drop and repeat workouts, it transitions you from that more linear approach into a daily undulating periodization program, and then eventually it gets to the advanced programs, which is a 13-week cycle with 3 separate blocks that is designed to peak you for a meet or to peak you for a mock meet. And it's basically a great example of advanced programming, and anybody can run it. If you have any more questions about the updated versions, I'm going to go ahead and put links in the description box. But 2 questions that I know I'm going to get, so I'll just answer them now, is 1, where are the spreadsheets? I got rid of the spreadsheets for both programs because I found that they were a bit buggy, and I'm just not good enough with spreadsheets to make good ones. And further, you don't need them, especially for the new Programming to Win version 2. You just don't need them. The new style of programming is so much more simple and straightforward without all the complicated fatigue percent math stuff. All you really need to do is look at what you did last week and be able to figure out what that was and beat that. So if you have a training journal, that's good enough. You don't need a complicated spreadsheet to calculate your next workout for you, because the training is much more simple. Now, the second thing is that the programs are no longer free. Now, the reason why is because I have a lot of other business ventures in my life that I could be spending my time focusing on, and that's what I have been doing over the past few years. But people continually ask me, when am I going to come back and make more content? When am I going to start talking about powerlifting again? And I love making powerlifting content, but just for my own personal sake, I have to make it worth my while, and having just a few paid products helps me to do that, helps me to put, justify to myself the amount of time that I'm spending writing about and talking about powerlifting so that I can start making content again and not feel like I'm taking away from my financial success and other business ventures that I have. So if you have any questions about anything, feel free to leave them below or to shoot me an email. Like I said, full details about EatingToWin2 are going to be in the description box, and full details about ProgrammingToWin2 also in the description box. So as always, my friends, actually one more thing, and I will be putting out a bunch more content lately because going forward anyway, because like I said, I feel like being able to put out these paid products is going to allow me to justify spending more time on creating powerlifting content again. So, as I was saying just a few seconds earlier, as always, my friends, good luck with your training and have a nice day. Peace.